Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Keith, otherwise known as Uhfgood, which I use on all the forums, chats, Discord, IRC, um, any number of forums. So online, I'm known as Uhfgood with an Uhfgood. It comes from the 1988 fantasy film from George Lucas called Willow, where the title character's name is Willow Ufgood without the H, Ufgood. And so when I first created the let's see something here. Let's move this guy over. Let's resize this. Um, when I first created my name, or when I come up with the name, I thought it had a silent H in there for whatever reasons. I don't know why. I just did. It's one of those dumb, you know, things, whatever. And I chose it because it's unique and nobody uses it. Nobody uses the regular spelling of Ufgood, mainly because most people don't know about it. In fact, being from '88, it's like 30. Is it 30 or 30 years old? 31 years old? What do we got? 88 to 98, 98 to 2008, 2008 to 2018. So yeah, it's a little over 30 years old. And so people aren't going to, only a few people are going to really know what that name is anyways. So, okay, even though now that I got that out of the way, I'd actually had done this. Here, let's meet this. I'd actually done this video previously, just like 15 minutes ago, and I realized that when I started playing my game, the audio was on. I could actually go into OBS and actually, mute the desktop audio there, but I decided to mute the YouTube audio here. Anyways, that, by the way, is Fly the Amazon Queen, and every night I spend about an hour. I try to keep it to an hour from 9 to 10 Eastern time. It's just probably like 2 to 3 a.m. in England, and how many hours are we away from like New Zealand and Australia? 3:38 a.m. right now. So 11 to 3 a.m. It's like more than 12 hours. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Just anyway, from 9 to 10 Eastern time, I'll play games. In fact, I use this as an excuse to actually to play games, to get more content to my channel. Okay, so now what was I going to get to? I'd already done this, but I realized I had the audio on for the game, and so it probably was conflicting. So I just decided to delete it, restart. Okay, so basically all I was saying the other time that I did it, here, let's take this and let's this is just usertesting.com. Anyways, so what was I gonna say? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I am making a 2D point and click adventure game. Okay, that's not strictly speaking true. Strictly speaking, it's going to be in 3D. I'm going to use 3D low poly backgrounds with hand painted textures, and then I'm going to hand animate the sprites. I mean, it'll be digital with drawing pad on the computer, but by hand I'll actually be drawing them. And so generally speaking, it'll be in 3D, but it'll still be played by 2D. My hope is that it looks like a 2D point and click when you look at a screenshot. When you look at a screenshot, the background should look like hand painted, like a hand painted background. Um, if I were to do like a low res, trying to make it look like these, it would look like this. But when the screen scrolled, you would see like perspective. You'd see the background and you'd see depth in there. But if you're just looking at a screenshot, it should look like just a standard like 2D background. That's what I'm gonna shoot for. I mean, you might be able to tell that the backgrounds are models if by the way that they're if they're too low poly, you might be able to tell a little bit that there's kind of edges and little you'll be able to tell just a little bit. But hopefully I'll mask it enough that it will look like a hand painted background, except for when it moves, of course. And that's the kind of the beauty of the whole 3D thing, because now I can have like a little parallaxing effect, because literally the camera is literally moving in 3D space and moving the background, which are actual 3D objects. I probably said it before, but if you remember the old Flesher cartoons, and certain Popeye, like Popeye meets Sinbad, and I think the Aladdin one with Popeye in it, basically where the backgrounds kind of moved in 3D when he walked, and that was because they actually suspended a cell like in front of they suspended a cell in front of the actual like backdrop. Like they made like the set, like a physical set on a table, rotating table, and then they hung the cell in front of it like that. And so then Popeye seems to be walking around in this little 3D world, and you're kind of going, how'd they do that? How'd they make the backgrounds do that? But it's actually because they're little cardboard or whatever sets. So that's the effect. It should look like that kind of effect in the game. Okay, so now I guess I've wasted some time on that. I was just trying to catch you up if you haven't watched this before. Not that there's that many people watching, so probably the only ones that are still watching, will probably already know this. In fact, I was averaging about 3 to 4 views per video, not per day, per video, and now it seems to be like one every so often. So I'm not sure what happened there, if it's my thumbnails or if it's just the fact that my stuff is kind of boring or whatever. But I expect as progress is made on the game that we'll get more people watching. Okay, so the whole reason that I did this, and I've said it before, so I apologize if you already know this and you can skip this video or skip ahead or whatever. You know how when you want to learn something, you have to take time, you have to practice, and they say learn by doing. And so let's say you want to learn guitar, and so what you do is instead of like learning all this musical stuff, how to read music, maybe you learn a few guitar tabs and you learn how to read. You learn a few chords and you learn how to read guitar tabs, and then you start playing your favorite song a little bit, and that's how you learn by doing, right? You get interested in it because it's the song you like and all that stuff. Well, I have kind of a problem where I have a lot of things that I want to learn, like lots of different things, like writing. I'm was particularly into like movies and stuff, so I was thinking of screenplays and just basically writing a story for whatever, for a book or a screenplay or a game or whatever. And so you have writing, you have programming, scripting mostly, but it's still programming. You have drawing, animation, 3D modeling, composing music, doing sound effects, creating little movies, like cutscenes and stuff. And there's all these different little deals, and the perfect game to do it on is an adventure game, really. Yeah, you can learn a lot of that stuff on a regular, like a first-person shooter or something. but those games are um, those games. How do I say it correctly? They're a specific focus, and so you have a specific set of skills that you need to acquire to do it. You still need to know all your art and stuff, but for instance, the backgrounds, they aren't necessarily backgrounds. You have an RTS, you're gonna maybe tile map it. You're not gonna do a full background. Um, you have a shooter. Shooter, you're going to be concerned with mostly with textures, probably realistic textures, not like hand painted ones, unless you're going for some sort of stylized look. You're going to be involved with the math and being able to, judge distances and there's a specific set of skills for certain other game genres. An adventure game is a little bit different. It's a little less on the technical side, more on the arty side, because most computers now can handle, art, animation, and handle all this different stuff, right? And you just need like a system to do it, and off you go, kind of thing. You do have to learn how to, draw, paint, make backgrounds, and you still have to do that with like shooters and stuff. So I'm not saying that it doesn't require. I'm not saying it doesn't require less work or anything like that. I'm simply saying that the stuff I want to learn, I can incorporate all the different aspects into this, right? So, like I said, writing and story, and in the FPS. Now they've been doing stories in games for a while, so it's not like you don't have a narrative in a game or you can't make a narrative game. Half-Life was supposed to be really great on its story, but also, like Half-Life 2 was supposed to be more subtle, more like environmental storytelling, more like telling you what's happened in the past, and less than a less than actual narrative, right? So uh, and some shooters you don't even need like a narrative at all. It doesn't. You just need like a setup, and you can like shoot stuff, and that's the joy of the first person shooter or whatever. Anywho, so I was able to. I was thinking that I could just learn all this different stuff and put it into my dream project. Now, I am going to get to actual work today in these videos, but my next video I'm gonna still do a little bit more talking. So bear with me. Thanks for watching. If you notice, also I flipped the horizontal. So now when I'm looking to the right, I'm actually looking to the right at my second monitor, but it's actually looking to your right. So it's more like a mirror instead of the other way around, which is kind of confusing me because left goes right, right goes left, and the sides. And so I'm going to see how this works out for a while, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm looking at my monitor here, my second monitor, which is actually just a TV with HDMI input. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.